Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavividitam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shri Madatatam. With life for those who are scourged by the world, the words which have been uttered by the knowers of truth, which wipe out sins, the very hearing of which is beneficial, which are beautiful, pleasing to the ears, pleasing to the hearts, which are inexhaustible. Those who recount them on the earth are the givers of plenty. Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, recorded by Swami Brahmananda. Chapter Miscellaneous 1. কলিকাতার কোনো বিখ্যাত ধনী ঠাকুরকে দর্শন করতে এসে নানা প্রকার কুতর্ক উত্থাপন করতে আরম্ভ করলেন। ঠাকুর তাকে বললেন, বৃথা তর্কে লাভ কি? সরলতার সঙ্গে ভগবানকে ডেকে যাও, তাহলে তোমার নিজের কাজ হবে। কতগুলি সেই দাম্ভিক ব্যক্তির মনোমতো না হয় তিনি বলে উঠলেন, আপনি কি সব জানতে পেরেছেন? ঠাকুর অতি বিনীতভাবে হাত জোড় করে বললেন, আমি কিছু জানতে পারিনি সত্য, কিন্তু ঝাঁটায় নিজে অপবিত্র হলেও যে স্থান ঝাঁট দেয় সে স্থানকে পবিত্র করে। Translation. A certain well-known rich man of Calcutta visited Sri Ramakrishna, and in the course of conversation with him had recourse to many tortuous argument. Sri Ramakrishna said, what is the good of useless discussion? Go on calling on him with a simple and believing heart, and that will do you good. This advice was not taken in good part by the arrogant visitor, who made the rude remark, have you yourself been able to know everything? Sri Ramakrishna, with folded hands and great humility, replied, true, I have not been able to know anything, but then a broomstick, though unclean itself, will cleanse the place it sweeps. Very interesting remark Sri Ramakrishna made. Jesus said, it is easy for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle, but it is extremely difficult for a rich man to reach God. Why? Takar gorom. Heat comes from the money. If we have too much wealth, money, that brings pride. Many people earn money, but very few people know how to digest the wealth. বৃথা তর্কে লাভ কি? তর্ক. When sometimes people would come to Dakshineshwar and try to argue with Sri Ramakrishna, he avoided those people. One day he tried to convince that person in many ways, but he couldn't. Then Sri Ramakrishna left the room, went to the pine grove. Then he came back. Then he touched that person and said, I am telling you, why are you not accepting my words? Sri Ramakrishna just asked him. I am telling you the truth and you are not accepting. What is the matter with you? That man said, yes, sir, I accept. Whatever you say. Just for argument's sake I was arguing. Sri Ramakrishna told this mystery. He said, those who come to me, if I touch them, then their ego collapses. My very touch can collapse people's ego. Then I put my ideas and thoughts in that person's mind. Sometimes when we read the Gospel of Ramakrishna, time to time you see, you come and touch somebody. His touch is something very powerful. It is just like when you boil the milk, the foam will come up, but the moment you put water, the foam collapses. So Sri Ramakrishna used to touch people and make them humble. It is a divine power that will reduce. He did not do it to everybody. The people he knew that he has possibility and good samskaras, he will touch them. He will not touch everybody. Argument. वृथा तौर के लाभ की. What is the necessity of just vain argument? I remember when Swamiji returned from America to India, in Baranagar Math, a scholar came to argue with him, thinking that if I can defeat Vivekananda, I will be very famous. He came, and Swamiji was going to take bath in the Ganges, and this man came and said, I want to have a debate with you, sir, Swamiji. Swamiji said, do you have a paper and pen? Yes. So Swamiji wrote, I am defeated, Vivekananda. And asked that Pandit, now you go. Who is going to misuse time and energy to argue with these people? Swamiji was so funny. Abar Upanishad says, Noisa Tarkina Motiraponeya. A true argument, vain argument, and talk, we cannot reach the truth. You may be a great learned person through your oratory, through your using beautiful words. You can charm people, but that will not help you to realize God. As the Upanishad says, those who say, I know, they do not know. Those who say, I do not know, they know. This Brahman, the truth, the Brahman, it cannot be the object, it is the eternal subject. Let us see what Gospel says about argument. 484. Pandit Shashada Tarka Chudamani, he was a great evangelist, great scholar, came to Sri Ramakrishna. Pandit, sir, how does one get rid of callousness? Laughter makes me think of muscles and nerves. Grief makes me think of the nervous system. Master is smiling. That is, Narayan Shastri used to say, the harmful effect of the study of the scripture is that it encourages reasoning and arguing. Pandit, is there no way for us then? Master, yes, there is a path of discrimination. In a song occurs the line, "Ask her son discrimination about the truth." The way lies through discrimination, renunciation, and passionate yearning for God. Unless a man practices discrimination, he cannot utter the right words. One time, after expounding religion at great length, Pandit Shamadai said, "God is Rai. We'll have to, through our devotion, we shall make him soft." He reminded me of a man who once said, "My uncle's cow shed is full of horses." Now, does anyone keep horses in a cow shed? With a smile, you have become like chana bora, fried in butter and soaked into syrup. Now it will be good for you and for others as well if you are soaked in syrup a few days, just a few days. Pandit is smiling. The sweetness is overfried. It has become charred. Master, no, no, no. It is brown as a cockroach, just the right color. You see, there is no need to read too much of the scriptures. If you read too much, you will be inclined to reason and argue. Nangta, naked, that Tutapuri, used to teach me thus: what you get by repeating the word Gita 10 times is the essence of the book. In other words, if you repeat Gita 10 times, it reverts into Tagi, which indicates renunciation. Anyhow, Thakur was trying to convince this scholar that you read too much. You have become dry, a scholar. Have some devotion. Make life balanced, interesting. That he was talking about. Then let us see 496 what Sri Ramakrishna said. Ramdal was asking question to the Pandit. The scriptures speak of Brahman's form as a projection of mind. What is that projection? What is that projects? Pandit Shashodhar. It is Brahman itself that does so. It is the projection of a man's mind. Pratap. Why does Brahman project the form? Master. You ask why? Brahman does not act in consultation with others. It is Brahman's pleasure. Brahman is self-willed. Why should we try to know the reason for Brahman's acting this way or that? You have come to the orchard to eat mangoes. Eat the mangoes. What is the good of calculating how many trees there are in the orchard, how many thousands of branches, and how many millions of leaves? One cannot realize truth by futile arguments and reasoning. Pratap, should not you reason any more then? Master, I am asking you not to indulge in futile reasoning, but to reason by all means about the real and the unreal, about what is permanent and what is transitory. You must reason when you are overcome by lust, anger and grief. Shashodhar, that is different. It is called reasoning based on discrimination. Master, yes, discrimination between the real and the unreal. All sat in silence. Again the master spoke, addressing the Pandit. Formerly, many great men used to come here. Shashodhar, you mean rich people? Master, no, great scholars. So these people used to come and had innumerable questions. Is God with form or without form? What happens after death? All sorts of questions they used to ask, and Sri Ramakrishna would answer. Is another interesting saying that you see, if you repeat hemp, 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 or marijuana, 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 you will not get intoxicated. You will have to paste it, then make a sharbat and drink it, then you will get intoxicated. You may cover your whole body with marijuana leaves, you will not be intoxicated. You will have to eat it. You will have to take it inside. Similarly, mere talking will not take you to any place. But he encouraged discrimination. See what is this world, what is real, what is unreal, what is the goal of human life. In this way, Sri Ramakrishna always engaged, asked, in the beginning in the gospel, Sri Ramakrishna asked aim. First he smashed aim's ego, then he said, you must have discrimination. What is permanent, what is impermanent, what is real, what is unreal. He told many stories in this connection. Do you know those who argue about God? Those who are blind, ignorant. In that connection, he told that parable. 4 blind men went and touched the elephant. One person touched the leg and expressed, elephant is just like a pillar. Another person touched the big belly. Oh, elephant is just like a water barrel. Another person touched the ear. He expressed, elephant is just like a winnowing fan. In this way, each person went and touched the elephant and expressed their own experiences. But all are blind. They did not see the whole elephant. That is the reason people argue. Partial knowledge. All philosophical argumentation we hear, they have not experienced the truth. As Sri Ramakrishna told about the Pandit Padmalochan. Some devotees of Shiva and some devotees of Vishnu had fight. Who is great? So Padmalochan was the umpire. He asked the devotees of Shiva, have you seen Shiva? No. Your father? No. Your grandfather? No. So how do you know Shiva is great? Then he asked the same question to the followers of Vishnu. Have you seen Vishnu? No. Your father? Your grandfather? No, no. Then how do you know Vishnu is great? Then you see, in the Vaishnava scripture glorifies Vishnu and made Vishnu great. Similarly, in the Shaiva scripture, they glorified Shiva and made Shiva great. That's all. Then he talked about very funny things. And when the Brahmins came and they used to argue with Sri Ramakrishna, he would answer. Sometimes he used to say, Lajamuro baad diye now. I told you what I have to say. You people remove the head and tail and take the essential part. That's all. I told you the whole truth. And you take which you can digest. That's a beautiful expression. Naja muro baad diye now. Give up the head and tail and take the essential part. Sand and sugar are mixed up. Take the sand, take the sugar and give up the sand. So the truth is mixed in the scriptures. So take those scriptures which will give you the right knowledge. Then he said, you see all these scriptures, I can read many pages. That, do you know what? These scriptures are nothing but the grocery list. You make a list that what are the things you will buy from the snooks in the grocery market. Then after buying the groceries, you throw away that paper. You don't need it. So scriptures help us to realize God, to know how to realize God and the way to realize God. They are the just manual. They are the recipe book. But when you realize God, you don't need the scriptures. Palalamibo dhanyarthi. Here is a rice. It needs husk to grow. When rice is ripe, then the husks are removed, we take the only rice particle. So the husk, scriptures are like husks. It helps us to grow. And then take the essential part. Sadhaka, a spiritual aspirant, came to Sri Ramakrishna and asked, Sir, what is the way? Master, faith in the Guru's words, Guru Bhakya Vishwas. One attains God by following the Guru's instructions, step by step. It is like reaching an object by following the trail of a thread. Sadhaka, is it possible to see God? Master, he is unknowable by the mind or engrossed by inwardliness. One cannot attain God if one has even trace of attachment to woman and gold. But he is knowable by the pure mind and the pure intelligence. The mind and intelligence that have not the slightest trace of attachment. Pure mind, pure intelligence, pure Atman are one and the same thing. Sadhaka. But the scripture says, from him words and mind return baffled. He is unknowable by mind and words. Master, oh, stop. One cannot understand the meaning of the scriptures without practicing spiritual discipline. What will you gain by merely uttering the word Siddhi? Siddhi means that Indian hemp. The Punjis glibly quote the scriptures, but that will not accomplish. A man does not become intoxicated even by rubbing Siddhi on the boy on his body. He must swallow it. What is the use of merely repeating, there is butter in the milk? Turn the milk into curd and churn it. Only then you will get butter. Sadhaka, you talk about churning butter, but you too are quoting the scriptures. Master, what will one gain by merely quoting or hearing the scriptures? One must assimilate them. The almanac makes a forecast of the rainfall for the year, but you won't get drop of squeezing its pages. Sadhaka, you talk about churning butter. Have you done it yourself? Master, you don't have to bother about what I have or have not done. Besides, it is very difficult to explain these things to others. Suppose someone asks you, what does ghee taste like? Your answer will be, ghee tastes like ghee. To understand these things, one needs to live with holy men, just as to understand the pulse of bile or flame and so flame or so on. One needs to live with a physician. Sadhaka. There are some people who are irritated by others' company. Master, that happens only after the attainment of knowledge, after the realization of God. Should not a beginner live in the company of holy men? See, Sadhaka sat in silence a few moments. Then he said with some irritation, please tell me whether you have realized God either directly or intuitively. You may answer me if you are able, or you may keep silent if you wish. The master said with a smile, what shall I say? One can only give a hint. Sadhaka, then tell us that much. Narendra was going to sing. He said, no one has brought a pakwaj, drum. Narendra was going to, the younger Gopal. Mohimacharan has one. Anyhow, the conversation changed. Anyhow, Sri Ramakrishna taught quite a... He told the Brahmas, you know, I go to your organization and do you know what I hear? You talk. I hear only bhag bhag, bhan bhan, call call. He confused. The Brahmanas are confused hearing Sri Ramakrishna's words. Say, Trilokanath Dev says, sir, what do you mean by all those words? Bhak, bhak, call, bhan, bhan. in Ramakrishna, I saw him. There I wrote it in details about it. You will find page 466 to 67, Trilokanath Dev. Anyhow, what he meant, she says, village women go to the pond with their pitchers. They fill up the pitchers and bring water to home for cooking, drinking. So when they press the pitcher inside the water, in the water, it makes bhag, 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 bhag sound. That when the pitcher is full, no more sound. Perhaps you have seen the village women, or not village women, all women, when they cook in the kitchen, perhaps the oil is hot and you want to fry something. The moment you put that thing, vegetable or any cake or anything you put in that hot oil, it makes call sound. When they are well cooked, it floats on the top of the oil, it does not make any more noise. Second example. Third example, bon bon. Perhaps you have seen the bees go and fly, and they will make bon 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 sound over the flowers. But the moment the bees sit on the flowers and begin to sip honey, they do not make any more noise. You know, Sri Ramakrishna's power of observation and the way he created imagery for his teachings are very convincing, and we can visualize it very clearly. That is the beauty of the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel. We can visualize. Not only hear, we can visualize. That is very, the audiovisual effect is very powerful. You have a radio station, and you are a radio, a transistor radio, you are listening the sound of NPR, you have one effect. But when you turn on the television and see the NPR, the person who is speaking and you are listening, that has more effect. I see that person who is speaking. I see the background, I see everything. So, audio and video, that is the reason video is more effective. We can see and we can hear. So, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna has a audio-visual effect on human mind. বিচার নয় ডুব দাও, বিচার নয় ব্যাকুলতা, বিচার নয় শরণাগতি. This is the way Sri Ramakrishna told his devotees. বিচার means don't stay in the intellectual plane. There are some people read too many books and they want to quote scripture, they want to show how learned I am. How learned we are, they want to show. Quoting the scriptures, firing, arguments. This book, that book, they will give you all references. Sri Ramakrishna told them, Jubdao, dive deep. Don't stay only in the intellectual plane. And longing. And Sharanagati, take refuge in God. That one is, I have never heard that one except in this place. That a broomstick cleanses the place. which has a unclean, bad things, whatever bad it cleanses, but it makes the place holy. That is the way Sri Ramakrishna depicted his humility to this person, that rich person. Look, I may not know everything, but I cleared the place, just like a broomstick. He compared himself with a broomstick. Generally, broomstick, we kick in the corner of the house and throw away. A person threw away the broomstick. Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mata says, what does it mean? Bow down to broomstick. That broomstick, you use it, it cleanses the house, and again we shall use it, and you threw away with such neglect. You must respect the broomstick. That Holy Mother said. নেক্সট টিচিং। বনে ভ্রমণ করতে করতে রাম পম্পা সরোবরে জলপান করতে নেমেছিলেন। ধারে তীর ধনুক মাটিতে পুঁতে জলে নেমেছিলেন। উঠে এসে দেখেন ধনুকে বিদ্ধ হয়ে একটা ব্যাঙ রক্তাক্ত হয়ে পড়ে আছে। রাম মহা দুঃখিত হয়ে তাকে বললেন, তুমি শব্দ করলে না কেন? শব্দ করলে আমরা জানতে পারতাম, তাহলে আর তোমার এ দশা হতো না। ব্যাঙটা বললে, রাম, যখন বিপদে পড়ি তখন রাম রক্ষা করো বলে ডাকি। এখন রামই যখন মারছেন তখন আর কাকে ডাকবো? বিউটিফুল। Sri Ramachandra, in the course of his travels through the forest, descended into the tank called Pampa Lake, for a drink, leaving his bow and arrow stuck into the ground. Coming up, he found that a frog was lying covered all over with blood. Having been run through by his bow, he was very sorry and said to the frog, why didst thou not make some kind of sound? Then I should have known that thou were here, and thou wouldst not have come to this plight. The frog replied, O Rama, when I fall into a danger, I call on thee, saying, O Rama, save me. Now that thou thyself art killing me, whom shall I call on? That's a beautiful. 657. Let me see what 657 says. Rama and Lakshmana visited Pampa Lake. Lakshmana saw a crow very eager for water. Again and again it went to the edge of the water but would not drink. Lakshmana asked Rama about it. Rama said, brother, this crow is a great devotee of God. Day and night it repeats the name of Rama. Its throat is pursed with thirst, but still it won't drink for fear of missing a repetition of Rama's name. It is another story. There is a story of Rama and squirrel. Now, Rama wants to make a bridge between India and Sri Lanka so that his army can go and attack Ravana, the great demon king. And To make a bridge over the ocean is not an easy job. But Angad has a boon. Angad or some Hanuman, he has a boon that chanting God's name, whatever he will put on the ocean, it will float. So people bringing all the stones to Angad, Angad is putting on the ocean, and then all rocks are floating. That is the way the bridge was made. It's in India, everything is possible. Our stories. Ram Name Pathor Jole Bhashe. Chanting God's name, even the stone floats on the ocean. So the bridge is done. And now a chipmunk, squirrel, is helping Rama's bridge. So what did he do? He rolled over the dust and shaking the dust into near the seashore. They rolled over the dust and then shook the dust in the ocean, helping Rama's bridge. And the monkeys grabbed the squirrels and rush. You are throwing dust only. We are bringing trees and rocks, and we are going to make the bridge. Who are you? So this squirrel went to Rama and said, Lord, I was trying to help your bridge, but these monkeys won't let me. Rama said, I am so sorry, these monkeys are so... So Rama was just caressed, putting his 3 hands over the back of that squirrel. So in Indian squirrel, you see the 3 fingerprints on their backs. They give all the stories. 3 fingerprints on the back of the squirrel. But I try to help God. একটি সাধ্বী ভগবত পরায়ণা স্ত্রীলোক সংসার থেকে পতিপুত্রের সেবা করতেন আর ভগবানের চিন্তা করতেন। একদিন রোগাক্রান্ত হয়ে তার পতি প্রাণ ত্যাগ করেন। পতি সৎকারাদি শেষ করে তিনি হাতের কাচের চুড়ি ভেঙে ফেলে সোনার বালা পরলেন। সবাই জিজ্ঞাসা করায় বললেন, আমার স্বামীর দেহ এতদিন এই কাচের চুড়ির মতো ক্ষণভঙ্গুর ছিল, তার অনিত্য দেহ চলে গিয়েছে। এখন আর তিনি ক্ষণভঙ্গুর নন, তিনি নিত্য অখণ্ড স্বরূপ। তাই আমি কাচের চুড়ি ছেড়ে পাকা গয়না পরেছি। Another Indian story. A certain devout lady, who was also a devoted wife, lived in the household serving her husband and children with a loving heart, and at the same time keeping her mind fixed on the Lord. At her husband's death, as soon as the cremation was over, she broke her glass bangles and wore a pair of gold bracelets in their place. People wondered at her unnatural conduct, but she explained to them, hitherto my husband's body had been fragile like the glass bangles. That ephemeral body is gone. He is now like one unchangeable and full in ever respect. His body is no longer fragile. So I have discarded the fragile glass bangles and ornaments of a permanent nature. You see, in India, when you become a widow, you cannot put on any jewelry. They have a bracelet, Shankha churi. She breaks the bracelet. They removed all their jewelry from their body. So this woman, instead of becoming a widow, leaving all jewelry, she put on gold jewelry. She adorned herself, thinking that my husband has now eternal body. No more fragile human body, divine body. My husband is one with God. God's wife never becomes widow. That is the attitude. Same thing happened with Holy Mother. When Sri Ramakrishna's body was cremated at Kashipur Garden House, Balaram Babu brought than kapur. Than kapur means a dhoti without border. Only Ujos use that kind of cloth. And gave to Golapma. Golapma cried out, I cannot hand over this cloth to mother. Holy Mother was in her room. Think of that. It was evening, 16th August. When Holy Mother was removing her bangles, a married woman, how shall we know? A Hindu married woman, Brahmins, you will find big border cloth. It has a vermilion mark on the forehead and between the here and bangles. That means this woman has husband. In America, you have wedding ring. Not that everybody, so many people put ring, then not that everybody has husband and wife. Anyhow, that is in America, you justify that I am married, I have a ring. So in India, they have that kind of sign. So when Holy Mother was trying to remove the bangles from her hand, Sri Ramakrishna appeared before her and grabbed her hand and said, what do you mean? You should not remove the bangles. Am I dead? I am just from one room to the other. Holy Mother kept the bangles. Then when she came to Kamarpukur, public criticism, the villagers tormented her. Ha! Hinduism, she should shave her head and she has long hair. And she put on bangles. And Holy Mother tore her sari, made it small thin border, not thick border. All through her life she used that kind of sari. Thin border, not white, completely white. So that is the way Holy Mother put on her clothes, that was her dress. Thin border sari, cloth, bangles, and she kept her hair. When the villagers again tormenting her, she was again trying to remove her bangles. Sri Ramakrishna appeared before her. Don't do that. It is in tonight, Gauri will come. Gauri Ma. She will explain to you. Gauri Ma came in the evening. Then Holy Mother told her about her vision and what Sri Ramakrishna said. Well, Mother, Master said the right thing. You are Lakshmi, you are goddess. You will never be a widow. Because I have the scriptures, I can show from the Vaishnava Tantra. I can quote the scriptures that as God is eternal, so the goddess, they never become widow. Holy Mother kept it. He disregarded that comment of the villagers. The last verse, the last teaching. গঙ্গা জল জলের মধ্যে নয়, শ্রী বৃন্দাবনের রজ ধুলোর মধ্যে নয়, আর শ্রী জগন্নাথ দেবের মহাপ্রসাদ অন্নের মধ্যে নয়, এই তিন ব্রহ্মের স্বরূপ. The Ganges water is not to be regarded as water, nor the dust of Sri Vrindavan as dust, nor the Mahaprasada of Sri Jagannath Deva as rice. These three are objective manifestation of the Supreme Being, Brahman. Mahaprasad. Swami Sharadananda wrote in the Ramakrishna's divine play. We ourselves actually observe the Master's lifelong deep devotion to the Ganges. He used to say, the ever pure Brahman has been transformed into the Ganges to purify all beings. So the Ganges is truly Brahman in the form of water. The minds of all who live on the bank of the Ganges become divine, and the spiritual inclinations of these people manifest spontaneously. They are filled with the moisture of the Ganges, purifies the land as far as it blows. The people who live in that area are endowed with good conduct, devotion to God, steadfastness, generosity, and austerity by the grace of the Ganges, the daughter of the great Himalayas. If anybody had talked for a long time about worldly things or had associated with worldly people, the Master would say, go and drink a little Ganges water. If a godless worldly man polluted any spot of the temple complex by thinking of mundane things, the Master would be sprinkling Ganges water there. He was distressed if anybody washed himself with Ganges water after answering the call of nature. Ganges. গঙ্গা জল জলের মধ্যে নয়। $358. We have already mentioned that the Master firmly believed that the water of the Ganges is supremely purifying, and that he considered it to be Brahmavari, a liquid form of Brahman. Similarly, he strongly believed that partaking of the rice prasad of Jagannath caused the impure minds of worldly people instantly to become pure and capable of grasping spiritual ideas. If he had to spend some time with worldly people, he would immediately afterwards take a little Ganges water and some dry rice, prasad, of Jagannath, and he would ask his disciple to do the same. In addition to what has been mentioned earlier about the Master's belief that Buddha was the divine incarnation, it is different. What he was talking about Jagannath and Mahaprasad. You see, Jagannath is the Daru Brahma, that image of Jagannath, Krishna, is made of wood, neem wood, margosa wood. Sri Ramakrishna says that Jagannath is the living God, and his prasad will purify you. What kind of prasad? They offer rice. I think several times they offer food to the Lord Jagannath. And the rice is sold in the market. They call it Ananda Bazar, blissful market. You can buy your meal, Jagannath Prasad. Sometimes some people do not cook. They buy food there and eat. Rice, vegetable, sweets, nice food, you can get it. Suppose you are a lot of guests, you can order food from Jagannath and they will give you delivery. Very nice arrangement. I mean, you can stay in Puri your whole life without cooking and grow and shopping. Not a good idea. You will get fresh, good food. They call it atke. The rice which are not sold, they make them dry. And they make, with a red cloth bag, they sell it. I have in my room. Then Sri Ramakrishna used to take, after his shower, after his bath, he used to take a particle of rice. They call it atke. dry rice, and then a sip a little water. And you used to ask others, they will get devotion if we eat this prasad. And Swamiji did not believe it. Swamiji argued, sir, I don't believe those things. Superstition. Sri Ramakrishna says, superstition? Tu drabya gun manish. Do you believe the effect of food on human system? Yes, which is scientific. Sri Ramakrishna says some food constipative, some food laxative. Do you believe that? Swamiji said, yes, I believe that. So this is also scientific. That if you take Jagannath Prasad, you will get devotion. Which is spiritual science. Thakuras, you cannot argue with Sri Ramakrishna. Then we heard Thakur put some dry rice and put inside the sandesh and gave Swamiji to eat, so that he can get some devotion. Very nice. Let me see, 573. That's another story. And Vrindavan is Rajo, the holy just of Vrindavan. Sri Ramakrishna came when in 1868, Sri Ramakrishna went to Vrindavan and brought some dust of Vrindavan from Nidhuvan, where Krishna plays with the gopis, and is scattered around his Panchavoti to make that place holy, like Vrindavan. And he brought some Madhavi creeper also and planted. You know, Sri Ramakrishna was quite something. Recently, I just last month, 2 months ago, one of our Swamis wrote an article on the Ganges water. Beautiful article. I read it. He quoted from the scriptures, and he wanted to justify Sri Ramakrishna's statement that Gangavari, Brahmavari, Ganges water is the water of Brahman, it will purify you. He wrote 4 pages. He mentioned when Swamiji, later on, in the beginning Swamiji did not believe all those things. Later on, when Swamiji came to America, he brought a big jar of Ganges water with him. He carried some Ganges water and gave to Madras Mount, Swami Ramakrishna. Say jar, that it is a porcelain jar, still it is in the Madras Mount. They will show you. This is the jar, porcelain jar filled with Ganges water Swamiji brought from Calcutta and gave to Ramakrishna. But when any problem comes, I drink Ganges water. One day Swamiji was coming to see Holy Mother from Belur Math to Calcutta, Udbodhan, and coming by boat. Swami Turiyananda was with him, and Swamiji put his hand in the Ganges and drinking water. Then Turiyananda says, Swamiji, why are you drinking so much water, Ganges water? You see, brother, the volume of purity necessary to see Mother, I don't have that kind of purity. So I am purifying myself. Just think of that. How the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna respected Holy Mother. Holy Mother had several visions about the Ganges in Kamarpukur, as well as in Nilamba Prabhu's garden house, that Sri Ramakrishna walked and merged into the Ganges. Holy Mother could not take bath in the Ganges for a few days. Sri Ramakrishna told one of his visions about the Mother Ganges. One day I was walking on the embankment of the Dakshineshwar. Then I had a doubt whether Ganges was really a goddess or not. All of a sudden I heard that in the middle of the Ganges, somebody was blowing the conch. Then I saw a young person, a young boy, was blowing the conch and coming, and the Mother Ganges is following that man. But then I have no doubt that Ganges was not the, my doubt about her divinity disappeared. It is a story in the Puranas. Bhagirath, his ancestors were burnt into ashes by the curse of a sage. So he heard that if the Ganges come from the heaven to the earth, and that Ganges water can give liberation to his ancestors. So he practiced austerity. Vishnu said, well, I can release the Ganges. They call it Vishnu Padodbhava Ganga. The Ganges is the water in a washing Vishnu's feet, and it was in a pitcher. The Vishnu says, I can release the Ganges, but who can withstand the force of the Ganges? Then he said, only Shiva can do that. So he went to Shiva. Shiva says, all right, I shall stand. So he stood on the Himalayas, and the Ganges fell from heaven and entered into Shiva's matted hair. So Ganges could not come out. So they again, Bhagirath prayed to Shiva. Shiva released from his jota, matted hair, and released the Ganges. Then Ganges began to flow, and it flowed over the ashes of his ancestors, and they got liberation. That is the story. Stories from the Puranas. The Ganges, he was blowing the conch and going forward, and Ganges was flowing behind him. That Swami told another funny story. Bhavanath wanted that Sri Ramakrishna's photograph should be taken. So he asked his friend Avinash to bring his camera to Dakshineshwar. Anyhow, Avinash took the picture and told that within a week I shall bring the picture. But he did not bring the picture. He took some advance money from Bhavanath. 10 rupees. 10 rupees advance he took, but he did not give. That money he used for some birthday party of his son or something like that. Then when Bhavanath went to his home, where is the picture? He falsely put a bandage on his hand and said, my hand broke. I'm sorry, I could not make it. I need another couple of weeks' time. Then I shall deliver the photos. So Bhavanath came to Dakshineshwar and reported to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna said, what? No, you go, bring Avinash here. So Avinash came. Sri Ramakrishna said, you are speaking lie. You open your bandage. You open the bandage, see that his hand, there was no injury in his hand, and he bent his head and he was very sorry. He apologized and he told that my son born, so I spent that money for my son. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, you go to the Ganges, Mother Ganges, and confess that you lied. Then you will be free from sin. So Avinash took the bath in the Ganges, and then Sri Ramakrishna blessed him. Anyhow, Sri Ramakrishna had great faith in the Mother Ganges and the Ganges water. Perhaps I told you my story. When I was initiated, my Guru said, before you meditate, take a little Ganges water in your mouth and sprinkle over your head. I said, Maharaj, we are in Advaita Ashrama, we do not perform any ritual. What? You take a chunk of mud from the balloon mud Ganges and soak it into the tap water in Calcutta and sprinkle. I shall never forget. But anyhow, when I'm in St. Louis, morning and evening, when I'm in the shrine, I always follow my Guru's advice. I use Ganges water to purify myself. All right, up to this tonight. Tonight is our last class before winter break. Then our class will begin again in spring. We will know when the class will begin, and it will be in our bulletin. Anyhow, today also we have quite a bit of snow. I am glad that some of you have come. But our live stream will be watched by many people. I saw the other day we had only few people, but in our website I saw 104 people watched our class. Not bad. Anyhow, this is the glory of the modern technology. And thanks Shri, who is doing these things. Jai Ma, Jai Ram Krishna. Yeah. How many are there?
21 it says, Maharaj.
21.
Yeah.
Just see. 21 people watched.